Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your libertarian car guy. Just wanted to make a few comments about the new Kia Telluride, which is one of the newest full-size crossover SUVs. It is the twin of the Hyundai Palisade, and what I'm about to say applies to both of them, and it's hugely complementary. And what I'm about to say is that unlike the general trend in the class, and you can point to several examples of this, including the Mazda CX-9, also the Volkswagen Atlas, this big crossover comes standard with the big V6, which is appropriate to its size. Instead of a tiny little turbocharged four-cylinder engine that's been pumped up by a turbo to make up for its lack of displacement. I recently wrote an article about the subject and got into the reasons why it's probably inadvisable to put these tiny little turbo engines in these big vehicles and how you're paying for it. Even though they'll say you're paying less for gas, you're still paying more for it in another way. Leaving aside the fact that it's got the nice brawny big V6 too, this is, I think, a very attractive vehicle, and I know that that's subjective. And your mileage may vary, but I think that Kia is doing some of the best styling work right now of all the major automakers. These vehicles are fundamentally utilitarian, so they have to operate within those confines and figure out a way to make it look more than just a box-like thing that's used to cart around your kids. And speaking of that, in a way, and I know I probably shouldn't say this, and I'm sure Kia doesn't want the association with it, but these things have essentially replaced minivans, and if you look at their specs, if you look at the overall footprint, if you look at how many people they can carry in their 3 rows, 7 to 8 people, fundamentally they serve the same purpose that minivans once served, but without being minivans. So you get a vehicle that doesn't depress you visually, that's much more entertaining to drive, and which also has more utility than the minivan. I think the manufacturers of minivans made a mistake when they didn't jump on the all-wheel drive bandwagon. Pretty much everybody who's in a market for one of these vehicles now wants to have the winter weather snow day capability that you get with all-wheel drive, and with a bit more ground clearance too. If you look at these things, they usually have about somewhere between 7 and 8 or so inches of ground clearance, which is significantly more than most cars and most minivans also. So they're really good for those days when there's flakes on the ground and you need to get where you're going. Anyway, I will have more up at epautos.com, the web's best libertarian gearhead site, and also your island of sanity in the midst of sickness, psychosis. So thanks as always for watching the videos and supporting the site, and we'll catch up with you again soon.